Hello everyone, my name is Steph. Welcome back to my home. I could also say hello children. My name is Lilith. Welcome to hell, but I don't want to scare you. I am a massive Diablo fan. I've been waiting for Diablo 4 for so long, and I've had some amazing experiences in the Diablo 4 beta with my friends and my partner, and it's coming out. It's here. It's time. I'm not ready, but it's happening, and I could not be more excited. And for that very reason, my partner and I decided to put together something extra special and spicy for the Diablo 4 launch, and that is this look. Oh, this is a Lilith inspired look simply because a full Lilith recreation or cosplay would be an enormous project that we simply did not have time for right now, but who knows in the future. So as you can see, these horns are not directly Lilith's horns, but they are some kick-ass demon horns, and they were custom made by my partner Travis and hand painted by me. So if you want to see how we made those, make sure you stick around for after the makeup segment of the video where we show a lot of cool behind the scenes footage and content on how we put these together. While you're watching, I do want to hear from you in the comments about Diablo 4 or your previous experiences with other Diablo games. I am so excited. I hope you're excited too. Let me know what class you're going to play, which hero you're picking from around that campfire to make yours. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the game, and let me know what you think of Lilith, because I think she's amazing, and I'm really hoping that in the story they go in a direction where she's not outright evil and the villain. It feels like they have to, based on her position in the universe and the lore. If you're a lore nerd, get a combo going down in those comments, but no spoilers. I'm rooting for her, okay? I'm rooting for the Blessed Mother. Come on, save me. Save us. Deliver us from evil, please. With that said, and without further ado, let's get into the makeup segment of this video. First things first, we are going to prime our canvas. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer with 4% niacinamide. It's my favorite. It has a ton of grip and it just works for me, especially when I'm doing heavier makeup like I am today. It's important to prime if you're gonna be doing anything like cosplay or anything where you're gonna be photographed in costume makeup, because you want everything to be going on a smooth canvas if those details are gonna be seen. And you want it to stay in place as well. The next thing I have to do is make myself a bit corpse-like in complexion, because Lilith has this really pale, slightly olive undertone skin, and I am a little bit sun-kissed right now by my standards. I'm gonna need to pale it up just a little bit. I've already tried a little bit of this CC cream here on my hand. It's a little bit lighter than me. I'm gonna try that to start all over my face, my neck, and up here. This is the e.l.f. Camo CC cream, and it is in a very light shade. This is Fair 140W, which is considerably lighter than myself, as you can see. Quite pale. This stuff has great coverage though, so let's just give it a go. Let's just see how it looks. Something else I did for this look was I tweezed the ends of my eyebrows off. I am committed. I'm trying to really embody the daughter of hatred. You know she would do that. You're gonna find her in Sanctuary. She's gonna go. You're not gonna know what to do with yourself. Next, I'm gonna do some concealer to make sure that I've got a super bright canvas underneath of all of the artificial darkness we're gonna put on. So this is the Lilith Concealer Portfolio. I'm just gonna put a brightening shade under my eyes to really just even out that canvas there. And this is a super pale shade. I use it normally, but it still works for even this ghostly look, which tells me I should probably change it for my regular day-to-day. We're going to start layering up different kinds of contour now to create the sallowness, the sunken gauntness of the Daughter of Hatred. So let's begin with our lightest shade. This is a Fenty Match Stix foundation stick. It's a contour stick really for this shade, in the shade Amber. And I'm going to be kind of carving out where the Blessed Mother contours her damn self down in hell. Now she very specifically has this like buccal fat removal look. So we're gonna bring the contour not just under the cheekbones, but also down to create that gauntness. Then jaw, and we're also going to, through here, let's do the nose as well. Now I'm gonna blend this out. I'm gonna take that same contour stick and emphasize some other boniness, which is something that I do not have naturally. I mean, that's not boniness, but you know. Now we've got our first layer of contour on. I'm going to kind of fine tune it with some more of that pale concealer that I used earlier back in that same concealer portfolio. So I'm going to use a precision brush on that light shade. I'm going to place lightness in contrast to the contour where it makes sense. So along the outside of my nose, this helps it to look more like a shadow and less like dark smudges. And then of course down the center of the nose as well. And then especially to refine over here. So I'm gonna put it up on the top, and then this will help create more of that shadow by contrasting it. Playing with light and dark. All right, now let's try to blend that in. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the body area that I just did on my face with the contrasts. And then we blend. Now we're going to emphasize the contour a little bit more because this woman is not looking like she's well fed. There's some malnourishment occurring with this queen. So we're gonna go into the darkest shade on the concealer portfolio. This is a darker brown, much darker than my usual contour. And we're going to just place it in a few spots. We're placing a lot less of this than we placed the first one because we don't want to overdo this one. This is just like a detailing. And again, we're going to blend very gently. As a final highlighting step, I'm going to be using this Nude by Nature cream highlighter stick in the shade Opal. And I'm just going to use that very sparingly where I want the light to for sure catch. And then I'll blend this with my finger. Now it's powder time. I need to reduce this shine because it's really kind of throwing off my ability to visualize Lilith here, or, you know, my closest approximation to Lilith. So we're going to deeply powder the entire face. This is my Dermablend Pro translucent setting powder. I really love this stuff. I've used it for years and it is very, very effective stuff. So I'm going to really pack it on heavy under my eyes and on my nose, and really anywhere else I definitely don't want there to be shine. And let's face it, Lilith is definitely serving. She's giving, but she's not moisturizing. And I'll do the rest of my face with a powder brush, just blending it out. Okay. Not quite so shiny now. Ooh wee. Now that we have really the base of the look done, we can start adding some of those really glamorous and evil looking elements. I think it's really interesting that Lilith doesn't seem explicitly evil. Like there's a bit of a question there. You know, she's like freeing her children from the shackles of whatever. We really don't know. I'm sure there's spoilers out there, but please no spoilers. I'm really looking forward to playing the hell out of this game, no pun intended. And I'm kind of rooting for a Lilith arc that doesn't land her being killed by the players. I think that she could do more than that. So I want to see where they're going. I don't know yet. But I'm going to be using my Makeup Forever Flash palette, and the next thing that we're working on is these veins that she has. And she has these really specific, dragged down, cracky looking veins coming down her eyes and kind of across her chest region. So we're going to try to make those with a sort of pale brown. So I'm going to take a little bit of this white and a little bit of this brown. I'm going to mix them together to make a bit of a taupey brown, like a lighter brown. Get some on this here brush, and we're going to start dragging. I'll start with the one that's kind of out here. Kind of comes down. I'm going to use a really light hand with this brush to make sure that it doesn't go on too heavy. And I'm really leveraging the dragging motion to help extend that. And we'll do another one here. We'll pull a second one off of this one. Yeah. do another down here. Down from the tear duct. And then it looks like we've also got one that kind of comes down from the hairline. Or maybe it goes up. Let's say like this. I think that's a good start there. So let's do the other side. And then it looks like we got a little something around here too. Okay, and next we're gonna do the same thing kind of along the chest. So on the chest, she has 3 that come down on each side. So I'm gonna actually pull it down from here. So we'll start with that one. That's 1, 2, 3. So we've got those. Let's extend these ones down the neck now. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've got those. And then we're gonna pull these lines down again, kind of off towards the edge of my breast area. So over this bone, and then, oh, that's really cute, okay. Okay, that's 3 on that side. Let's do 3 on the other. All right, cute. I mean, is this cute? Something in the realm of cute. But we are done with this Makeup Forever Flash Palette taupe cream makeup mixture. And I'm gonna actually try to soften these up a little bit by applying a little bit of translucent powder over them, because I don't want them to move. And then I'll just continue to sort of brush over them with this translucent powder, and that kind of tones them down a little bit, because I don't want them to be super overpowering. Like, I don't want them to look like graphic liner. I want them to look a little bit like, I'm not sure if they're veins or cracks in the skin. Maybe she's just really dehydrated, y'all. Y'all got Nivea in hell? No? Okay. Now for the eyes, she's got something really cool going on, and it's kind of like how I used to do my eyeliner in high school. She's got this really like heavy dark shadow under her eyes, a little bit of a soft wing element back here. So we're gonna do that. And to start, I need my eyeshadow primer, which I don't have. I swear a studio redesign is on the way, y'all, so I won't have to keep pulling things out of my makeup bag that I use for day to day. We're gonna put this eyeshadow primer all over up here, and this is to help grip the shadows that we'll be working with. It helps them blend well together, and blending is actually gonna be really important for what we're about to do, because this woman wears a lot of eyeshadow, okay? So we're just gonna tap that in so it's nice and tacky, and it will grip our shadows nicely. And another note, again, if you're doing some kind of cosplay makeup or something like that, primers for both face and eyes help things stay a lot better. So if you experience a lot of creasing in your eye area, this will help that not happen. And then because she has so much under eye shadow, I'm going to also apply the eyelid primer down there to help that, again, grip and blend, because sometimes shadows don't want to grip very well in this region on my skin. Maybe you have that problem too. I don't know. I don't know your business. I don't know your business. All right, now in the reference art that I'm using, this is a very like black gray color, and then in game it's more red. So I'm gonna lean into like a brown, cool brown sort of area, which is sort of in the middle between both of those depictions. So let's see what I have in store. What do I have? I think what's actually gonna be the most useful for executing on this is gonna be this NYX face like contour and highlight palette. Because of these great cool brown shades for contour. So I'm gonna start there, and we're gonna start light and build our way to dark. So I'm gonna start down here with the warmest of the brown shades, and this will be kind of my transitional color. So I'm gonna keep it, let's start up here. I'm gonna build a triangle at the back, bring it in, and then for the under eye, comes low, all the way in here. And then we'll reconnect that together in the front, almost like we're making this arrow shape. So it's pointed here and it's pointed here, and that's gonna be the silhouette for our eyes. And then I'm going to take this more skin tone shade here, and I'm going to apply that just outside of this shape. And it's gonna look pretty much invisible, which is exactly what we want. And the reason I'm doing this is to help the darker brown that we just placed, is to help that blend out smoothly so it doesn't get like clumpy and caught up on our skin, it will have a more smooth gradient. And then once we've applied that skin tone, I'm going to take an actual blending brush, so something fluffy and round, dip into it just a little bit of the brown we placed originally, and then blend out around the edge of where we placed. And this can be done with windshield wiper motions side to side, or it can be done with swirling motions. Whatever works best for you and your wrist. Just make sure, this is the secret when you're doing these really heavy built up looks like this, is to use a light hand when it comes to your actual brush touching your face. If I placed a really heavy hand and a lot of weight on this brush right now, it would give me a totally different finish, and that is not what we're going for. Now, to properly execute this eye area look, we're gonna use 2 more browns. The next one is gonna be our sort of a middle shade, and that'll be this darkest contour shade in this palette. So it's pretty damn dark, but it's not gonna be the darkest shade we use. And I'm going to be applying this basically just inside of that shape we just blended out. You wanna be careful not to go too far overlapping with the blended shade. Otherwise, you're gonna mess up the blend you just worked so hard on. Don't do that. So I'm basically applying this on the lid area, but I'm avoiding placing it directly on my eyelash line, if you can see that, because we're gonna reserve that for just straight black. And then the same thing down here, sort of mirroring the same application. Gonna help create more definition without outright touching my eyeline just yet. Oh my gosh, my sinuses just cleared up miraculously. I think it's the Blessed Mother blessing this video. So you should give a like and subscribe if you want more nerd and beauty content. Thank you, Blessed Mother, for clearing my sinuses. I promise I will not trust Inarius. That man is sus AF. Now that we've applied that darker brown, we're gonna go back to that blending brush and we're going to do the same motion, this time on the border of the dark brown and the lighter brown, so that we can get that nice smooth transition. Now we need the blackest black shadow that you have. This is what Lilith has come to feast on. Actually, we don't know if she's feasting on souls. She seems a little bit more reasonable than that. She's no Diablo, she's no Baal, you know, she's the mother of Sanctuary. She's the creator of humanity. I feel like she's like an Eve character. I feel like she's gonna be nice, all right? I feel like she's misunderstood. Anyway, this is an ancient palette. This is an Alyssa Edwards Anastasia Beverly Hills palette from God knows what year. It needs to be cleaned. Just aesthetically, I mean, it's sanitized, but it needs to be cleaned up. But she has in this palette a shade called Beast, and it is the blackest black shadow I've ever used. So I'm gonna take that on the same flat brush, and this is what's going directly along my lash line. And we're gonna bring it up to meet that dark brown we just placed. But we're gonna try to keep it as tight as possible because black eyeshadow can really get away from you. And then again, we'll place that as tight as we can on the lower lash line as well. So what class, listen, first of all, in the comments, are you gonna be playing Diablo 4? And if so, what class strikes your fancy? I feel like I'm gonna play a little bit of each of them, but your girl has to start somewhere because I can't be having 5 characters right out the gate. I don't have the time, okay? I'm definitely gonna start with Rogue because like I've tried them all during the Diablo 4 beta, which was really cool, by the way. It was great getting to play the game before it came out. I've been waiting for so many years for this. Since Diablo 3, I've been sitting here like, hey, when's Diablo 4 coming? I'm so excited. And it's here. Y'all, I can't believe that it's here. I'm just blending this black in with the browns. Same deal as before, windshield wiper motions right along the edge of the shadow to help smooth that transition. As I was saying, I'm super excited. The beta was a great experience. I got to play each of the classes, actually, and I think I'm gonna start with Rogue because your girl has ADHD, okay? And in video games, I feel the most comfortable. I play a rogue in World of Warcraft as well. I feel the most comfortable when I can do things very fast and when it's about my reaction time and reacting to, say, procs or things in the environment. If my gameplay is focused around paying super close attention to exactly what is happening right now, not about like planning or winding up, right? It's about reacting. I feel so comfortable in that. And I felt like the Diablo 4 Rogue had that sort of gameplay. and it was tons and tons of fun for me. So that's where I'm starting. I also felt like out of all the characters, I could make a character that looked the most like me as the rogue. It's actually uncanny. The only thing I can't do is have my hair color, which is with the white in the front. Blizzard, please add two-tone hair, okay, to your games. I will buy it off of a DLC, I will buy it off of a cosmetics shop. I will pay $20 for one hairstyle, haircut, I don't know, hair color, whatever. I will give you money for my hair in a video game, okay? All that to say, I'm very excited to play the rogue first. What is your first character gonna be? Let me know below. I'm gonna give my direct eye area a break because sometimes they water when I poke them too much. And I'm gonna do my brows. Now Lilith is very interesting. This queen does not have brows in the game. She's got like a bony ridge and I love that. It's gorgeous. But I don't have a bony ridge. In fact, I spent a lot of money getting a surgeon to shave off my bony ridge. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do brows. But actually in the reference art that I'm using, Lilith does have eyebrows. So I'm gonna kind of follow that shape, which is why I tweezed off the ends of my brows. So I'm gonna start by mimicking the shape that's there, and then I'll fill in the rest of the brow. So it sharply rises up, and it comes up and out rather than coming down. So let's start with that. Let's see how I can come up and out. Yeah, it's more like that. So let's see if we can just... This is a NYX micro brow pencil in the shade Brunette. I really like the twist up because I get a bit aggressive with pencil sharpeners for like eyeliners and brow pencils and lip liners. So I like the twist up top. And I like the fine tip. It's just perfect for me. Okay, might have to do my brows like this every day. Thank you, Blessed Mother, for blessing my brows. Next for eyes, I'm gonna line my inner waterline and my tight line with a black pencil. Ooh wee, mama. Mama of Sanctuary. Sanctuary by Utada Hikaru. I haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game since the second one on PlayStation 2. We're learning about each other. And last but not least, for the eye area, I'm gonna apply a liquid liner. And I'm not gonna go crazy with the wing because this blend is too gorgeous to cover up with a big piece of liquid liner. I'm just going to line really close to my actual lash line with the liquid so that everything's really tight. And then this is just personal preference. But I'm gonna do itty bitty wings in the front and the back because that's how I like to line my eye shape. But honestly, if you don't normally do wings on your eyes, I would not advise you do it for this look because that's not really the thing she has going on. It's definitely the eyeshadow blend. But you do you, person. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know your business. I don't know your life. And then something I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that Beast black eyeshadow on a flat brush, and I'm just going to place that sort of on top of my pencil eyeliner because it holds better. So Diablo 4 beta story, I have another one for you. Ashava the Pestilent was the boss that we had access to during the Diablo 4 beta, and she spawns in the Fractured Peaks. I call her she, but she's like a giant abomination of a monster. I don't even know if she's a demon or what. She's a fucking mess is what she is. But she destroyed my life. And the whole thing was with the Diablo 4 beta was if you beat Ashava the Pestilent during the server slam, which was the last sort of beta thing they did, you would get a mount trophy. And your girl stayed up all night. I played with my friends, Doro, Wes, and my partner Travis, and we had this cool 4-person squad thing going on, and we were trying to power level my friend Doro because we wanted them to have a chance to get all of these cool rewards from the beta that you can't get in the game once it's released. So we were playing the game, we were power leveling Doro so fast because they had just started their character with less than 3 hours to go to the boss spawn. And we needed to get them from level 1 to 20 in that time period so that they were eligible for the rewards. And in that time period, we succeeded with getting them to level 20. But with just a few minutes left before Ashava spawned, we were in a dungeon and the butcher appeared. And the butcher handed us our ass on a platter after, butchering us with his cleaver. And he was like, here you go. And then we were late to getting to Ashava and we failed to get the kill. Something I realized after that I don't know why I didn't think of this, but you can set the world to an easier difficulty in order to get the kill for Ashava. And I didn't think of doing that. So we were sitting there on the harder difficulty trying to kill this boss, and like, bless our hearts, we really tried. It wasn't happening. So I went to bed and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to try again. And if you know me, you know that's not fucking happening. Okay? So I missed my chance to get Ashava at 6 a.m. And it turns out my friend Doro, who we had just power leveled the night before, they were messaging us on Discord like, get up, it's time to try again. Like, they were really excited. They were the only person to get the Ashava Mount trophy in our group. Everybody else did not get it, but Doro, who had just power leveled the night before, got the Ashava Mount trophy. So that is a great memory for me and my crew around the Diablo 4 beta. Congratulations, Doro. Please rep that trophy with pride. You deserve it. You earned the shit out of it. Cannot wait to adventure in hell with you. So you might have noticed I'm doing something. I'm going back in with the brown in this palette, and I'm just emphasizing the veins a little bit more. Veins, cracks, whatever they are, because now that we have like the eyeshadow on and stuff, it just felt like, yeah, we could do a little bit more here. And I'm not even lightening the brown this time. I'm just using it in its darkest form because honestly, having a mixture of that light and this dark brown actually makes it look a little bit more real. Like it gives it more depth, which I think is great. I'm just gonna add a couple more towards the outside of my face. I'm just gonna curl my lashes and apply mascara, and I'll be right back. For mascara, I'm using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I love this thing. This is like my current forever mascara, which I know is an oxymoron, but I feel like I'm gonna use this for years unless somebody shows me something else. I've heard really good things about one of the newer Fenty Beauty mascaras, and like, let's be honest, I don't think Fenty Beauty has released a product that isn't perfect, so maybe I need to try that. The last thing to do is lips, and I'm normally not a dark lip girl. I like keeping my lips nice and pale like this. Like, I feel like this is just fun for me. This is how I like to do my makeup, but I'm gonna follow Lilith's example, Blessed Mother, and I'm gonna do some brown lips, which is what she has going on. So to do that, I'm gonna use the same brown that I used for the veins to start, and then I'm gonna mix it with a lipstick. So let's begin by taking the brown right out of this palette, and I'll do my lip liner basically with that. So we'll start here, and thankfully we can get a really crisp line this way. Now Lilith has like this gorgeous Cupid's bow. I don't have a Cupid's bow. I'm not going to draw one on myself, so I'm just going to use my natural lip shape. Now I'm just going to fill in my lips just a little bit with the brown, just so there's enough to blend it. And then for lipstick, I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Pillow Talk. This is, look at how much I've used it. It's flat. I need a new one, but it is amazing. Wow. I know I said I wasn't a dark lip girl, but do you see this? This might be my new favorite thing. And as a last makeup step, but we still have lots to do, I'm going to spray this setting spray on my face. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. And we are done with the makeup. I hope y'all enjoyed this process, but we are not done yet. I still have a ton of accessories to put on to fully execute this look, including these incredible custom-made and hand-painted horns that I created with my partner Travis. These are an adaptation of Mercy's horns from another Blizzard IP, Overwatch, and we really love how they turned out. They look very Diablo to me, and we had an absolute blast putting these together. We, for a long time, have wanted to bring video game props and costume pieces into the real world, and we finally have the space in our new home to do that. So we're going to do a lot more projects like these, and I'm going to send you and these horns over for some tool time with Travis so that you can learn how we put these together, and I will meet you on the flip side.
Thank you, Blessed Mother. Hello! Welcome to my design and 3D printing studio. My name is Travis, and I'm going to be talking to you about how we produce this awesome set of wearable horns for Stef's Lilith-inspired look. To produce these, I mainly used 3D printing. I printed everything right here on my Dremel 3D45. This is going to be more of an overview than a direct tutorial, but you'll have a pretty good idea if you're interested in producing your own wearable props using 3D printing. So before we had this awesome set of wearable horns, we actually had ourselves, or created, a mini set of horns. Look at this little prototype. This is a 60% scale prototype that we produced first to get an idea before we produce this big full-size version. But before we had this, well, we didn't have anything at all. We actually started with a digital 3D file. So the very first step in producing this set of horns was finding a 3D base model to start from. I am certainly no 3D sculptor, but that's okay because the internet is full of amazingly talented people who are willing and looking to share their art. So that's exactly what I found. I scoured the internet looking at different horn models, horn sets, and I ultimately found a very cool prop maker by the name of, I believe, Bruneng. They go by Lex 3D on their 3D model art store on Cult 3D, which is where I actually got this model. But we'll put all of the links to their work because they have a lot of cool stuff to 3D print. We'll put that all in the description below, so if you want to go check out this horn set exactly, or something else, you can do that. So this horn set is actually from an Overwatch character. This is Mercy's horns from her devil skin. And you know, when Steph and I looked at it, we were like, hey, you know what? With a little bit of paint and a little bit of skill, we can adapt this to make it look real Diablo-like. So after selecting the base 3D model to start from, next came dissecting it and essentially trying to figure out how I was going to put it together. And that is where our little mini 60% scale model comes in. So it can be really overwhelming when you first open up a new big model, especially when you didn't design it yourself. So what I like to do is start small and print a scale model so that I can figure out how the parts are going to go together and how exactly I'm going to 3D print them. And starting small is a really good way to save yourself a lot of time and printer filament, because this crown set right here represents over 26 hours of straight printing. So being sure of what you're doing before you hit go on that big final print is very important. And I'll tell you, I am really glad we printed this small scale version of this crown first, because once I had it printed out and I had it in my hands, I was able to take measurements off of this against Steph's head, and we quickly realized that even if we scaled it up, it wouldn't be a perfect fit, and we'd need to do some customizing in order to make this a good fit for Steph's head. I also became very aware that this large rear crown section would be too big to fit on my 3D printer and print in one go. So I'd have to figure out how am I going to print this in sections and put it back together. So what I did was I took the 3D model I purchased from Cult 3D, I imported that into my favorite CAD software, Fusion 360. And I'll say, if you're thinking about getting into 3D printing or just CAD design, Fusion 360 is a kick-ass software. I use it all the time, and it's also free for hobbyists and makers. So can't go wrong with that. So once I had the model imported into Fusion 360, I split the main body of the crown in half and then introduced a spacer bracket which would allow me to fasten the two halves of the crown together after printing. The spacer also acted as a sizing device which allowed me to size the crown for a perfect fit for Steph's head. Once I was sure of the adaptations I designed for this crown, I began the preparation phase for printing all of the parts. I took the parts from Fusion 360 and imported them into my 3D printer's slicer software. The slicer software is what sets up the instructions for the printer to produce the parts. All of the parts you see for this crown right here, I used my Dremel 3D45 to print. I absolutely love this printer. I've had it for about 4 years now and it has never let me down. So when it comes to printing something big and complicated, I always use this printer. The material I used to print these parts was a gray PLA Plus from AMZ 3D. I used a 0.2mm layer height. That was a good balance between print speed and overall output quality. And I just used standard slicer software settings, plus a few sets of supports for some of the more complicated pieces. Once I hit print, it was as simple as supervising the machine while it did its work. And as each part rolled off of the printer, I would take it through the post-processing phase, which is essentially just breaking free any of the support material and cleaning up the hard edges with a craft knife. Once all the parts were printed, it was time to prep them for paint. So all I did to get them ready was hit them with 4 coats of a simple spray paint primer for plastics, let them dry for about a day, and they were ready to go. At this point, I assembled the main pieces of the crown using socket screws as I designed them with this spacer bracket, and then I chose to use a high-strength hot glue to attach the horn pieces to the main body. I opted to go for a high-strength hot glue in case I needed to reposition the horns, but as well because these are set props, there's often accidents on set. If the crown were to fall off, the hot glue would break free and we would avoid damaging the part. And I'm really glad we did this because on set, I actually, just before recording, knocked over this little one and I broke it. But the hot glue broke free and I was able to easily reattach it. I mean, I was totally devastated, but you know, saved me a whole lot of headache had the crown actually broken. And finally, at this point, I handed the primed and assembled model off to Steph to work her painting magic to really bring it to life. And guys, I really think she did a great job. Like, look at this. Now, I'll tell you, when I met Stef, she told me she went to school for makeup and creature design, but I never got the chance to see her actually do that. So I'm gonna pump her gas here a little bit. I'm gonna say, wow, it was amazing to see her take something I printed and then turn it into a real prop. This is just fantastic. So if you can do a favor for me in the comments, write Stef an encouraging message telling her she should paint more and explore this new old hobby of hers. Maybe we can make some new and more exciting things together. Anyhow, Stef is going to show you how she painted this and achieved this amazing look.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
When it comes to the painting process, I did a full detail reel over on Instagram where I walk you through the process for the 60% scale test print, and I did the exact same thing for the full-size horns. So please check that out if you want detailed instructions, and I'll include a link to the exact post in the description for your convenience. If you'd like an overview, I painted the horns themselves a bone white base color and the crown a coagulated blood base color. Then I dry brushed detail layers of taupe and burnt umber for the horn detail and layered browns and reds for the depth on the crown itself.
So, 5 hours of painting.
Oh yeah, 5 hours of painting, and it's almost identical.
Ooh,
with the
wow.
exception.
Give me a spin here. Nice, I back the other way. Wow. Okay, now, what do you want to say?
Well, the only difference is that I haven't added this red glow highlight. I think that's the only thing that's left to do. But I'm very happy with it so far. I think we're almost done, but I'm probably gonna finish it in the morning because it's fucking midnight.
That is amazing, honey.
What do you think?
I think it's amazing. Let me get in here.
My goal was to achieve particularly realistic bone texture and color, and I think I got it. Overall, the painting for the full-size crown took me right around 6 hours total. Welcome back from the workshop and to my hellish lair, my children. Take a gander at all of my treasures from Sanctuary that I've totally stolen from your loot boxes. They're mine now. I hope you had a blast learning from Travis about how we put this crown together and this little mini version as well that is totally cute and actually fits my dog perfectly. So we have a little ham devil in our house if we can find a way to make this not break. But that's another project. We are really excited about being able to take games that we love and make something really cool and creative out of them and then share it with you. So if you liked this video or liked the concept, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel because I have a lot more content like this planned and in the pipeline. I would like to know from you what you're looking forward to in Diablo 4. I'm very much looking forward to those massive scale boss fights that are unlike anything that's been in the Diablo franchise before, and I absolutely plan on actually getting an Eyeshadow kill when the game is live, because I did not get it in the beta. I was one of those people. My heart broke. I'm also really hoping we get to see some cool recurring characters like Akara of the Sightless Eye, although 50 years have passed in game, so who knows if she's even alive. But if I see her, I will scream, because I'm a big fan of the rogues. One more thing before I release you from hell is I want to make sure you're aware of some of the cool social media activations happening around Diablo 4. And one of those major things is happening on Twitch, where there will be 4 weeks of Twitch drops, each week giving rewards for a different character class, happening from early June until early July. And if you gift 2 subscriptions to any eligible streamer's channel, you also get a cool mount for in-game. Now, I personally do not have plans right now to be streaming Diablo 4 in that time frame. I really wanted to, and I plan to in the future, but if you're interested in getting some of those rewards, I'm going to include a link to one of my favorite Diablo streamers in the description, so check her out if you want to get your greedy little treasure goblin hands on those Twitch drops. There are 2 takeaways that I've gotten from putting this project together, and that is number 1, I love having horns, and number 2, I love red nail polish. Until next time, just remember, big video game releases like Diablo 4's launch week only happen once, but remember to take breaks, stretch your legs, feed yourself, and get some sleep, because ultimately, you will enjoy the game more for it, and you'll end up feeling better in the end. Thank you for joining me today for this Diablo 4 Lilith-inspired makeup look plus horns, and I will see you next time. I post weekly here on YouTube and daily on Instagram, so make sure you follow me there to keep up with the family in our daily activities. Thank you so much. Bye! Mwah! literally wrote you the most challenging fucking tongue twister of a sentence as you were saying it. There's so many pieces.
I just use a simple spray paint primer for plastics. Alright.
No, it's not even just that. Parts were printed, time to prep them for paint.
The parts were
printed. Spray paint primer for plastics. Do not feel bad about this. This is my ham. The ham of hatred. As I am the daughter of hatred. This is my ham of hatred. And her name is Lilith. Hedge! Welcome to my hellish lair. As you can see down here, we also use IKEA.
You gotta do pictures now.
Sure, babe.
Thumbs up.
Hey, baby.